The rise of Paul Biya and the transition from Amadou Ahidjo. Background on Amadou Ahidjo's rule. 1960 to 1982, Amadou Ahidjo was the first president of Cameroon, ruling from 1960 when the country gained independence from France. He was a strong leader who centralized power and suppressed opposition. His administration was marked by economic growth, but also political repression. Ahidjo relied heavily on a one-party system through the Cameroon National Union, CNU, and maintained a strong grip on the country using security forces and intelligence services. During his rule, Paul Biya was a rising technocrat within the government. A trained administrator, Biya was seen as a loyal and non-threatening official, gradually gaining influence. In 1975, Ahidjo appointed Biya as prime minister, making him the second most powerful person in the country. Ahidjo's unexpected resignation in 1982. On November 4, 1982, in a surprising move, Amadou Ahidjo announced his resignation as president, citing health reasons. However, many believe there was more to the story. 1. French influence. Some speculate that France encouraged Ahidjo to step down, seeing Biya as a more modern leader who would be easier to work with. 2. Political strategy. Ahidjo may have thought he could rule from behind the scenes, keeping Biya as a figurehead. 3. Personal health. He did indeed suffer from health issues, but some doubt that they were serious enough to force his resignation. As per the Cameroonian constitution, Paul Biya, being prime minister, was the next in line and took over as president on November 6, 1982. Power struggle between Ahidjo and Biya, 1982 to 1984. Despite stepping down, Ahidjo didn't completely leave politics. He remained head of the CNU party, giving him influence over the government. Initially, he and Biya appeared to work together, but tensions quickly escalated. 1. Ahidjo believed Biya should follow his guidance, but Biya began asserting independence. 2. Biya started replacing Ahidjo's loyalists in the government. 3. By mid-1983, Biya forced Ahidjo to resign as head of the CNU, effectively stripping him of political power. Attempted coup and Ahidjo's exile. 1984, Ahidjo, now feeling betrayed, allegedly orchestrated a failed coup attempt on April 6, 1984. The coup was carried out by elements of the Presidential Guard, many of whom were still loyal to Ahidjo. The attempt was crushed within 2 days, and Biya's forces executed or imprisoned many suspected conspirators. Aftermath of the coup. 1. Ahidjo, in exile in France, was sentenced to death in absentia, later commuted to life imprisonment. 2. Biya purged the military and government, consolidating his power. 3. The CNU was renamed the Cameroon People's Democratic Movement, CPDM, in 1985, marking a complete break from Ahidjo's rule. 4. Ahidjo lived in exile until his death in 1989, never returning to Cameroon. Biya's rule after the coup. After surviving the coup, Biya reinforced his control over Cameroon, ruling with a mix of authoritarianism and political maneuvering. Some key developments include: 1. Strengthening of the CPDM. The party became the dominant political force. 2. Crackdown on opposition. Political dissent was suppressed. 3. Economic challenges. The country faced economic downturns in the late 1980s and early 1990s. 4. Introduction of multi-party politics. In 1990, under pressure, Biya allowed multi-party elections, but he maintained control through electoral manipulation. Despite facing opposition and political crises, Biya has remained in power for over 4 decades, making him one of the longest-serving leaders in Africa. Conclusion: Paul Biya's rise to power was initially smooth, but he had to fight to keep control. Ahidjo's exit was clouded by intrigue, and his attempted return via coup failed disastrously. Since then, Biya has maintained his grip on Cameroon through political maneuvering, suppression of opposition, and tight control over the military and government institutions. 4.0